These last 2 games matter. They're division opponents to us. Very important to our football team to see the competition, to see guys, compete against our division. I think it's important for each man, and it's important for each unit, and it's important for our whole football team.
Now, I love this response. I think it sends the right message that you fight till the bitter end. You leave it all on the field. Obviously, you don't want your number one player, Justin Fields, to get hurt. So if he's not able to play, and you do have to make that evaluation, you don't put him in. But if he's healthy enough to play, why not fight it? He said they have to learn to finish games. That's their biggest thing. They got to go out and they got to learn to finish. You have 2 more games to leave it all out there. I'm not mad at this response. What do you think?
It's nonsense. Yeah. If he's healthy, he should be playing.
Exactly.
Stop it. I know fans want to imagine the team should just tank and shut it down.
No.
That's not how this works. They pay these players a lot of money, okay?
Yeah.
People pay a lot of money to go watch them play, and they get a lot of money to play on television. It's not all about money, but that's part of this, first of all. Second, they're a developing team. They're in a rebuild. They're a young team. You're going to take games off for a draft position?
No.
Make the right choice in the draft. What are you talking about? No, absolutely not. If Justin Fields can play, if Justin Fields is hurt, no. Obviously, you're not forcing a player out there in games that don't matter. You're not making the postseason. The season is essentially over. But he's a young player who needs to get better. If he had some unbelievable lights-out season, sure, maybe you rest him so he doesn't get injured for next year. But he's not. He's been playing better as of late. But he's got to keep getting better as well. All these reps matter. It's really silly. That's not going to happen, and it should not happen. If he's healthy, he should be out there playing, and they should all be playing.
That's why I love the response too, because obviously, as I said before, they're half a game behind the Texans for the number 1 overall pick. Meaning, if you don't win your last 2 games, you possibly could get that number 1 pick, but you're tanking. No, they're going all in. They're fighting for it, and they're going to give the fans a good show, but most importantly, give the players experience, because the only way you get better is by playing and getting experience. So.
It's a non-starter for me.
All right, well, let's move on to your Steelers. All right, because they are still in the hunt for a playoff berth in the AFC with a matchup against the division rival Ravens. Now, the NFL has flexed their matchup into the Sunday night slot. Now, some may not like their schedule getting moved around at the last minute, but don't count Mike Tomlin among them. Here's what he had to say.
When I got the call the other night that the game was flexed, man, I didn't hate that. I love that. If your games are not getting flexed this time of year, you're not doing it right. You're not in significant ones. And so we don't run from that. We run to that, although we do respect their environment and the hostility of that environment on Sunday Night Football. We're not going to hate the fact that we're there. We're going to embrace that and smile in the face of the adversity that those variables create.
I love it. You went on to say, I think this is the 10th time Harbs and I have played Sunday Night Ball together. He's an awesome dance partner. They're awesome dance partners. It's just good to be in significant games.
He is the best quote in all of football.
He's awesome.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
And he does not waste a word.
No.
Which is what I love most about Mike Tomlin at the podium. And he's right. Mike Tomlin is such an unbelievable coach.
Yeah.
I know people like to dump on the Steelers when they're struggling because the Steelers have been so awesome for so long. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. And when you consider everything that's happened with the Steelers this year, the fact that they are still in the hunt to make the playoffs, that they're getting, as Mike said, flexed into this spot.
Yep.
It's just a testament to what an incredible organization and coach he is. It's really remarkable. And I just love listening to him talk about football.
And it's so valuable for these players and his team that is still developing. Because, again, would you call them they're in a developmental stage right now?
Yes, they are in the development stage, yes.
Yeah, this is a valuable game and experience for their players. Like we just said with the Bears, it's like the only way you get better with these developing teams is getting in these big experiences and having these big games. So it's only going to improve them and make them better. And what better leader?
And listen, this is going to be a tough game. The Ravens have clinched, but they're not interested in letting the Steelers get into the playoffs.
No.
So they want to keep playing consistent ball this time of year. It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a great game. Moving on to college football, because we have a couple great games coming up.
Yes,
the college
we do.
football playoff is just under 2 weeks away, with number 2 Michigan taking on number 3 TCU and number 4 Ohio State taking on the defending champion Georgia. Now, Michigan is looking to avoid regret after last season's college football loss and say that it fueled their undefeated run this season. Meanwhile, their arch rival Ohio State is rarely considered an underdog, but are embracing the role ahead of their matchup against the number 1 ranked Bulldogs. Like, Georgia's red hot this year. They went 13-0 this season and have won 31 of their past 32 games. Who are you taking in that matchup? Georgia or Ohio State?
I mean, look, these are two great teams.
Yeah.
But Georgia is playing a different sport. I watched Georgia against LSU. I went down to the the SEC championship game. My nephew Mason was playing for LSU, and listen, they're fast, they're big, they're physical, they're good. They're good. I know everyone is good at this time of year, but Georgia's good. They're good.
I'm fun to watch.
I'm going to go with Georgia in this matchup. They're unbelievable.
Next matchup,
I've been told to tell their story, so I'm going to tell the story.
Go.
Georgia's good.
Love it. Next matchup, Michigan and TCU. Who are you taking there?
I'm sorry to upset our TCU alum that are in the building, and I have some friends that are TCU alum as well. But yeah, I've made more friends that are Michigan alum. I'm going to go with Michigan in this matchup, but I'm just hoping. I just hope everyone has fun. I'm interested in great matchups.
Great. When you don't have a dog in the
fight, I want a good
matchups.
viewing experience.
Yeah.
I have no dog in this fight in either of these games. I just want to watch some really competitive football. I think this college football season is a reflection of what we have to look forward to in the coming years. I think the NIL has evened the playing fields for a lot of teams. Everyone was freaking out about how it was going to ruin college football. College football will be ruined by children making money. It hasn't happened. And in fact, it's actually even the sport out, which was a major complaint that there are teams that can never get a hold of these top level recruits. And now that's not the case. And they're going to expand the playoffs, and it's going to be great.
Epic.
And it's been an amazing season for college football, and I can't wait for the playoffs. That's Alex Curry with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Post facility and teammates reacting to Russell Wilson.
I don't know who the head coach is going to be. The first thing you do, Russell Wilson, I'm locking this office. You will no longer have an office. All those parking spaces that you get at the stadium, they're gone too, because you're putting yourself in front of the team. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, and I stand by it. You ticked a lot of people off with your attitude, bro. Now, you can come out here and talk about we're a team and I'm good with my teammates, but deep down inside they seething, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, well, look, everything gets worse when you're losing. If you're playing great and you got a bunch of parking spaces, no one really cares because you're winning. But when you're losing, everything is something. Nothing is everything. Everything is something. And when you're losing, everything is something. And they lost a lot this year, and they lost a lot in part to Russell Wilson's play. So this isn't terribly surprising news. What is the lack of awareness from Russell Wilson that there is some animosity towards him. That's what makes me question, how much of a leader are you if your teammates are talking like this? Then Andrew Whitworth came out, Big Wit, and said on Twitter, I have been told this consistently over the last 6 months. I refuse to believe it. No way this is real. Can't be real, right? Well, he's hearing it over the last 6 months. Shannon just said it. Shannon has quite a few ties to the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to go ahead and believe that what he's saying is true. And it's not really that far-fetched to imagine that things are toxic in the locker room. We've seen it on the sidelines, guys arguing. We saw guys yelling at Russell Wilson as he's coming off the field or going onto the field. It was bad there, which is why another part of the reason why Nathaniel Hackett had to be let go, because it wasn't just that Russell Wilson was underperforming. The whole team was falling apart. There was a lack of culture there, and this is an organization that isn't dysfunctional or devoid of culture or history or winning or legends. They've done that before. Their fans have expectations. Now, they've struggled to find a quarterback, obviously, which is why they've made this massive trade and gave up half the team and paid Russell Wilson what they paid him. But you got to come in and be a leader also. And I didn't want to believe that there were some issues with Russell Wilson as a leader, but this is not the first time that we have heard chirping about this type of treatment and how it irritates teammates. Several members of the Seattle Seahawks have been on this for quite some time. And it was always a little strange because when you win with someone, you tend to not really bring up stuff. You know, like, yeah, whatever. I didn't really get along with this person. I didn't really like this, but whatever. We won. I'll get over it. I'm fine. I've got some hardware. We did good things. It's very concerning to me because now it's more than just how you're playing. Does anyone in the organization believe in you? Do they want to rally behind you? Do they look at you as the guy? Or do they look at you as the guy that's taking advantage of the position and not producing results? We all know the quarterback's the most important position. I mean, Shady's had a really great career. Everybody knows it. That's why you get paid the most. That's why you get criticized the most. That's why you get the posters. That's why you get the ads. That's why you get the endorsements. That's why you get the jersey sales. That's why you get the parking spots in the office. But with that comes an expectation of awareness. I'm not a humble person. I don't really believe in humble. It's not my lifestyle. I don't buy into it. Why do I need to be humble for you? Who are you? You're another human being. I don't need to be humble for you. I'm humble before God, before the maker. Are you that? Nope. Okay, keep it pushing. But I do have self-awareness. And I think self-awareness is very, very important. Because when you bring yourself down to a level to make other people feel comfortable, when you make yourself feel small, you're sacrificing your power. But when you are aware of who you are and how other people are affected by you and what you say and the power of your words and the power of your actions, that's self-awareness. I don't know that that's humility. It does feel a little bit, the way that Shannon's saying, there's not really a whole lot of self-awareness there. It's very concerning because the Broncos have a lot of issues and it's going to take everyone being on the same page for them to overcome this, and they've got a lot to overcome. Joy Taylor in for Colin Cowherd today and tomorrow with Alex Curry, Emmanuel Acho on the other side when we come back on The Herd.